Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Sit tight and get ready for another great episode. There's a lot going on right now in the world, so it means a lot to me that I get to be able to come here in front of my phone, the camera on my phone, and just talk about this bullshit. This these reality TV shows, competition shows, Real Housewives, movies, TV, whatever. It's such an escape, and I I am just so plugged in to feeding that part of my soul because it does bring me peace, and it does ground me in a lot of ways, and it does put me in a space where I can be my best self. So, having said that, we are kicking off the new year in a high gear. Obviously, last Thursday, Rob Cisternino of Survivor fame and Rob Has a Podcast fame made his big return back to reality TV with the Traitors season 4. Last Thursday was the 3-part premiere, and we're going to get into that and we're going to dissect it like we are back in school and it is biology. First episode, right off the bat, they're picking a traitor in front of everybody. But obviously, they're not giving it away to everybody. They're basically taking you and showing you a card that is, not facing the other contestants, and you get to see what the card is. And it tells you if you're a faithful or if you're a traitor. And really, at this point, they're only doing one traitor in plain sight, and we don't know who that traitor is either. Then they go to the round table and they pick the traitors like they normally do, where Alan will go around the room, he'll go around the table, and he'll touch the shoulder of the people that he wants to be a traitor. I was really shocked that they picked 2 housewives right off of the bat, and I got very excited thinking that they might do all housewife traitors, but they didn't. Nonetheless, I was excited to see what would happen with the 3 traitors that we did get, and they are Lisa, Candace, and Rob R. So right after this, we throughout the episodes we get to see the players intermingling, talking game, talking strategy. We do get the first challenge where they have to go out on a boat. They're split up into teams of 3. They're all in their own boat, and they're going to go out, and there are all of these coffins. Most of them have X's on them, but some of them have a $sign on them. So they want the ones with $signs. They're going to attach it to their boat, row it back to the shore, and for every coffin that they put in a grave, they get like so much money. Twist. There's a twist. The graves are the graves of the contestants. And if they put a coffin in someone's grave, they're up for elimination. So, that throws a wrench in everyone's plan. They start to just put it in whatever is closest with no strategy, as Rob points out. But Natalie teams up with another team as they cross each other's paths, and they say that they're only going to put in coffins in the 3rd boat's team. But that team agrees, but when they meet the other team, they agree with the same thing with them. So, we have all of these people at the end of the competition that are up for elimination. We don't know who is getting murdered. The people that are up for elimination have to bury their own grave. So they're stuck there putting this dirt into their grave as the other team members are off to the castle to eat and relax. All of the traitors end up meeting up with each other. They're all shocked with who they're with. And they find out that not only is the secret traitor a secret to all of the contestants, but it is to them too. And that secret traitor gets to pick the short list for who's eliminated, and then they can only pick from that short list who they want to murder for the night. That's episode 1. We kick off episode 2 with the murder of Ian. It is Ian who gets murdered first, which is very sad. We get another competition. In this competition, they have to travel a long way from the castle to the castle on this like crazy throne thing. And the people that are sitting on the throne, when they get there, are going to be safe from elimination. And Michael gets upset that Jam Jam took one of those spots, and Michael wanted a chance to argue for his chance to have the safety. So that's a whole thing. We end up going to the first round table where Portia gets called out by Ron, and Donna gets called out by Colton, and then I forgot who calls out Michael, but somebody calls out Michael, and those 3 names are in the mix, and those 3 names are the people that get votes. But it turns out that Portia is banished, and of course Portia is a faithful, so they're disappointed about that. Ron is worried that he is going to be a target now that he was over there advocating for Portia to get eliminated, and she was a faithful. So at the end of episode 2, we find out that the traitors, Candace, Lisa, and Rob, are not just going to murder someone. They have a task. There is a hidden box of tarot cards in the house. They have to get these cards and burn the card of the person they want to murder. The secret traitor is going to obviously make the short list of who they want to get murdered. Now, they have to do this by a certain time, and if they don't, then they lose, but if they do it, they get to meet the secret traitor. Now, at the point where they're trying to get to the cards, they are hidden behind a secret little container, like behind a picture on the wall. And Rob and Lisa get to it, and without Candace, and they talk about it a little bit as they're playing chess. Candace is off distracting everyone while they're doing this, so she's not in the mix, and she really doesn't get an input at all. At one point, she does a conga line to distract everyone. And our guy Rob notices this, and he tells Tiffany first, like, I think they're doing murder in plain sight. Let's stay away from the conga line. And after the conga line is said and done, Rob even tells Candace that he thinks that there's a murder in plain sight. Candace rushes to Rob and Lisa to let them know, but they've already murdered the person that they want to murder. They had that opportunity because Candace was distracting everyone. So basically, they took the card of the person they wanted to murder and they burned it in the fire. And that is the end of episode 2. When we get to episode 3, it opens up with the morning breakfast and the usual reveal that we get in the Traitors right after someone is murdered, where everyone comes into breakfast and we find out who it's between. And now, at the very end, when it shows us who it's between, it's the short list of the secret traitor. And we know this is a really bad list. I was very worried about it. It's Rob, Monet, Kristen, and I think maybe Caroline Stanberry. But I know it was definitely Rob, Monet, and Kristen from Top Chef. And I love three of those people. So, it was Tara Lipinski. It was the ice skater. Those are the four people. And really, the only viable option for me is Tara. So I'm just sitting there watching this on pins and needles. And finally, the last group comes in. And as you all know by now, Rob was not a part of that group. We see Rob getting murdered by the Traitors. We get a clip of a little interaction he has with Rob R. and Lisa. Not really Lisa so much, but as they're playing chess. And that just is enough, where Rob asks Lisa if she's okay with murdering Rob C, and she says yes. And ironically enough, Candace, Rob not really confronted her, but he mentioned the murder in plain sight, the possibility of that to Candace. So she inevitably was happy with the outcome, but Rob is gone. I was so sad. I was so disappointed. I was so devastated, as I'm sure a little bit of Rob was, because now he's just such a bright, shining ray of light, as he always is. And, when it happened, he told everyone not to be sad for him, and, that he's happy. So I'm not sad. I'm not disappointed. I was in that moment because I wanted to see so much more of him. Having the chance to see somebody that is always in my ears, in front of me in plain sight, was so exciting. And even though I can go back and watch the Survivor Amazon or Survivor All Stars, this is now. This is very current. This is not years and years and years ago. So it was exciting to have him back, doing something fresh and new, like the Traitors, like new content of Rob on this scale was just such an exciting journey for these 3 episodes. But the episodes go on. So episode 3 continues on. They go straight into a roundtable after they reveal that Rob has been murdered. Obviously, again, they have moments where the contestants are talking and bonding and strategizing. But at the round table, it finally comes to light where everyone is voting on Donna. Donna goes to leave and says that, I'm thinking she's going to say she's the faithful. And she says she's a traitor. I was so shocked. I love this twist. I want them to do it every year. I think it is so brilliant that there is a part of the show that we get to enjoy, just like the contestants, where we don't know who the traitor is. At least one traitor in this aspect. It was so much fun. I was so caught off guard, and I just loved it. I loved it. I just want more of it. I need more of that thrill and that excitement. And that sense of like community, where it's just like we all kind of were surprised. I was so surprised. I know a lot of people were surprised, even though they kind of knew. I kind of thought that she was. We didn't know. I didn't know. But so far, that is where we are with episode 1 through 3. Well, we left off episode 3 on a challenge where they had to pair up. There's 19 people left. And, they had to pair off with a partner. One person was left off, and it was Ron. And he wasn't, I don't really remember if he was sulking or not, but I know Michael offered to switch up with him. And he's like, no, I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to see what happens. He finds out he's automatically up for elimination. And so basically, all of the other pairs, they're gonna split up. One person from each pair is going to be hidden, locked away in a cage somewhere in the forest, and the other person has to run around, find these puzzle pieces, find their partner, make their puzzle, create their puzzle, and then bam, their person is free and they're safe from elimination. If you don't do that within a certain amount of time, all of the players that are still locked in their little cage are going to be up for elimination. And we see that it is Eric, Ron, Kristen, and I think there's another person I can't remember right now that's up for elimination. And it's a murder in plain sight. So the traitors are going to murder them to their face. And we left off on a cliffhanger with that. Here in a couple of days, we're going to get the next 2 episodes. They're not going to be with Rob unless there's some sort of twist where they bring him back in. I don't think that that's going to happen. You know, like I said, I am happy and content with where everything is, but I want more Rob on my TV. Well, that's all we have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, stay lovely, stay kind, and stay calm. Aside from the fact that Rob is not there, we're pretty much set up for a great season.